All right, folks, ladies and gentlemen, hello and welcome to today's Partner Infopedia web conference. The Partner Insider Morning Broadcast number 1 presents You Should Stop Pitching Office 365. Our presenters from Microsoft today, we have Justin Slagle, who is a Partner Sales Executive. We also have Demetrius Pozantidis, who is also a Microsoft Partner Sales Executive. And now it is my pleasure to hand you over to your first speaker. Justin, you now have the floor.
All right, thanks, Debbie. All right, so hello everyone. I see a lot of familiar faces in the participant lobby, and hello to everyone who's going to be listening on the recording, whether you're listening in the car or watching the recording later. We really appreciate you being here. My name's Justin Slagle. I am a partner sales executive for Microsoft covering Southern California, Las Vegas, and Hawaii. And also here with us we have Demetrius. You want to say hi, Demetrius?
Yeah, good morning, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Demetrius Pozantidis, and as Justin mentioned, I'm the Partner Sales Executive covering Northern California.
All right, so as we get started here, I want to start off with one very quick thing. So the first thing I want to start with is that I've heard a couple of people say, hey, Justin, you're telling us to stop pitching or stop selling Office 365, and I want you to notice, this is all about stop pitching Office 365, and in particularly stop pitching the SKUs that Microsoft has, the E1, the E3, Business Premium, and so forth. The idea of this is to actually help you start selling a lot more Office 365 and Enterprise Mobility Suite and so forth. So let's make sure that we see the difference. It's a very subtle difference, but we want you to stop pitching, but we definitely want you to start selling more. All right, so let's kick this off. I want you guys to think about just thinking differently. I want to do a very quick exercise, and if you're listening in the car, I know you're not going to be able to do this, but you might be able to imagine it as you're driving. So I'm going to do an exercise here with you guys. I'm going to give you 5 seconds. I'm going to put up a maze on the screen, and I want you to think about how do I get from start to the goal, okay? So I'm going to put this up here. Demetrius, you can even do this with us if you want. But so draw a line from start through the maze to the goal. You have 5 seconds. Okay, you guys ready? Go. Okay, stop. Now, how many of you guys actually got to the goal? If you got to the goal and if you're in the Skype meeting, just type it in. Hey, I got to the goal. Okay, so it's kind of a tough challenge, but let's think about this. Okay, how many of you started and went up? So you started at start, you got there. Okay, how many of you started and you went down? Okay, did anybody actually go from the goal and try to go backwards? I've heard a lot of people try to go this way, try to think it's faster to go through the maze this way. Okay, but one thing I want us to look at, as I said, to draw a line from start through the maze to the goal, but I didn't say you couldn't break the barriers. Okay, so the answer here is just to draw a straight line from start to goal. And the reason I wanted to start with this quick exercise, it's just that I want to point out that sometimes we get kind of caught up in the maze of life when there's actually a much easier answer. And so when we think about selling, or we think about how do we go to market with something, or we just think about just life in general, let's think about, is there an easier answer out there? Is there something right in front of us that will help us get from A to B? And how do we do that? And so let's think a little bit differently, and let's think about how we can move forward with just sales, and in particular what we're going to be talking about, Demetrius and I, about Office 365. So Demetrius, let's start off. Let's talk about commodities.
Yeah, Justin, and I think that's a great analogy. And before we get to commodities, just getting back to your earlier point about thinking differently. Our goal really here is to really help partners think differently in how they go approaching Office 365 to their customers. I think when you look back, maybe even 5 years ago, partners are constantly having to evolve, right? And initially to be a cloud provider was a point of differentiation. Partners who started offering cloud services versus on-prem. Then managed service provider became a big buzzword, and that if you were offering managed services on a per user basis instead of a per device or on project basis, that was a point of differentiation for you. And partners are constantly having to evolve in this new marketplace, and so one of the main drivers of that is that products and services become easily commoditized. Now, what is a commodity? Commoditization occurs as goods or services lose differentiation across its supply base. So what could be considered premium services or very high-end services with very high-end margins attached to that becomes easily commoditized as the entry rate, or they lower the barriers to be able to purchase these solutions. And you can see it all over the place right now. If you go to the next slide, Justin. The question then becomes, is Office 365 becoming a commodity? And to that, I could see cases for both sides, but I think the thing that I put back on partners is that, if you're just selling these SKUs that are in front of you here, if you're just selling a business SKU or a business essentials or even an exchange online only plan, then yes, of course, those products are commoditized because you can purchase them from anywhere. There's a lot of newborn in the cloud partners that are getting into the market. There's ISP, internet service providers, that are selling hosted email and Office 365 services. You can even look at a GoDaddy, a web hosting provider, that are selling these services as well. So the thing that we really want to challenge partners to think differently is how they go to market, and really what additional services could they bundle or wrap into their solution to really separate themselves from the rest of the marketplace. Now, as you can see, the market is evolving. Customers are more educated. I think there's a stat out there that customers are somewhere around 60% through the sales cycle before they even engage a partner. So they've already done their research. They know about Office 365. They may not know all the benefits that it can bring to them, but they're educated on what the products are, maybe what the SKUs are. They're looking for a fast turnkey solution, really quick go-to-market. They want to get up and running as quickly as possible. But increasingly, as I mentioned, it's difficult for partners to differentiate themselves. And so what are you doing in the marketplace to really bundle services and add value to that customer that no other partner can do?
So let's look at an example of this. So how about this? Do you need batteries to go with that? Some people say, hey, you want fries with that or whatever. But let's look at an example here. Do you need batteries to go with that? So I have a little girl. She's about 1.5 years old. I'm sure a lot of you in the audience have kids as well. And we've all gone to the toy store, right? So here's a toy that I would potentially consider for my daughter. It's a little parrot that's inside of a cage, and she could take it around with her wherever. I don't know how much the parrot cost. I don't know how much the cage cost. But in this particular example, even the batteries are included. So it says here 2 AAA batteries are included. How much are the batteries? And Demetrius, do we know?
Just judging from the product, I couldn't tell you how much those batteries cost.
So, it could be that they're charging us $2. Maybe they're buying the batteries for a quarter each. So they got 2 AAA batteries. It costs them 50 cents. They put it in there, and they got a good markup on the batteries. But we have no clue. And so this is kind of what we're trying to think about when you're packaging bundles for selling Microsoft or selling technology solutions. Make it to where no one really knows how much each individual service is, but they enjoy, hey, for $20, this might be a toy that I buy for my daughter. So what we're seeing in the marketplace right now is that our top performing partners, they're selling multiple cloud solutions and bundling them up. So if you take our top 100 US cloud partners, they're selling more than just Office 365. 96% of them are selling, 3/4 are selling CRM Online, 2/3 of them are selling EMS, over 50% of them are selling Azure. And then there's more opportunities coming as we start innovating more and more of their products with things like Skype for Business and the new E5 plan. But Demetrius, I know you have a partner up in Northern California who's got a vertical approach, and they're selling multiple cloud solutions. Let's talk about that for a minute.
Yeah, so actually I got a really good example of a partner that's local here in Northern California, and they service a lot of the wine industry here in Napa and Sonoma counties, and so they saw an opportunity to go and really position themselves as the leader in that market space. Now you're saying, like, what solutions could they possibly provide? Well, not only are they offering full stack of Microsoft products, but on the back end they've also are offering support for financials, for inventory management, things like compliance is very big in the food industry, right, and food and beverage industry, and then also providing reporting and analytics. So we see on the back end of that, it's really a lot of Dynamics products. Office 365 is included in that, right? But to the customer, they're seeing a package specifically for their industry that they know that they can count all their back-end systems and then also provide productivity and collaboration and communication across the entire organization.
That's exactly what we're talking about here. And we look at just benefits of the offering a bundled solution. First off, we have to create differentiation. If you're selling something that somebody can go off to Google and Bing and they say Office 365 E3, if you're selling exactly the same thing as somebody else, then it truly is a commodity. It's now we're playing a price game where maybe you sell it for $20, somebody else comes in and offers $19, somebody else comes behind both of you and sells it for $17.50 with a free email migration, you both lose. So we've got to create some differentiation. We've got to create a competitive advantage. Now the other thing that it does is it allows us to create vertical market specialization. So like Demetrius was just talking about a partner who's got something that's special for the wine industry. Maybe you've got a certain product set. You've got a package bundle that's specific for legal. Maybe it's for healthcare. Maybe it's for manufacturing. What this does for us is it allows us to take all of our marketing, take all of our sales, and really point them towards a vertical. Because I guarantee you, like I'm down here in Southern California, there's so much business in every one of our verticals, not one partner could do all of the business in one vertical. So we can start magnifying, the size and perception of our organization, and we can shift from product sales into business solutions. And customers are willing to pay more if they know that you are an expert in that field. Demetrius, what would happen from now? We've got benefits, but downstream, once we package these up, what are some other things that a partner could see?
Yeah, exactly. So I think the main thing that we think about is increased client loyalty and stickiness, right? If you're offering a solution that's specific to their industry, you can speak their language, you know exactly what specific needs that this is going to address for their customer. Maybe again, going back to your comment about legal, maybe there's document management and compliance capabilities that you're adding on top of the standard Office 365. Who is that customer going to trust more? The guy who's selling it down the street for maybe $1 cheaper, or the guy who knows exactly what that customer is looking for, exactly what their compliance needs are for that specific industry? It also reduces defection, being able to move to other customers as well. And then we also think about kind of how that can impact deal size. Because again, when you looked at that example that Justin had conveyed earlier about the toy with the batteries included, we didn't know what the batteries cost. We didn't know what each individual component of that toy cost. But essentially, it's a product or a service that customer is going to use and they're going to love. And so when you're able to bundle a number of services together, you're able to not only increase revenue but increase the back end profitability.
Yeah. So what we see in the market is the partners who use this technique and they bundle and package their own services with other things, maybe even non-Microsoft, they see higher margins and greater profitability. They have longer-term customer relationships and services engagements. And those partners who we see in the marketplace who are selling Exchange Online, or they're selling E3, or they're selling E1, they're really all about commodity-oriented and really shrinking margins. One of our counterparts on our team, Sherman Krantz, who runs our Microsoft Community Connections business. He was in the telco business, and he always talks to us about the race to zero in the telco market. Shrinking margins will kill a business. So think about, how can I start putting together some of these packages, and how do I get to this higher margin, greater profitability, something that's more repeatable in the marketplace? So we have a new engine that really enables you as a Microsoft partner to be able to do this. Demetrius, why don't you walk us through the Cloud Solution Provider Program?
Absolutely. So many of you who have joined our insider calls before are familiar with CSP. You've kind of heard the pitch from us, but for the partners that are kind of new to the community here, our CSP program, or Cloud Solution Provider, is essentially a way that partners can own the end-to-end billing for their customers. So traditionally, customers would go to Microsoft.com, they put in their credit card, and we pay our partners an advisory fee for managing that transaction. With the CSP program, or Cloud Solution Provider program, partners own the end-to-end billing. What this allows for is a few things. One, they can manage the terms with their customer. So if they're already billing their customer on a monthly basis, it's a very easy kind of transition, right? You can just kind of build it into your monthly services that you're providing to your customers. What we've also seen some partners do is change that billing model. So maybe they charge a quarterly upfront, or maybe they charge yearly upfront, and we'll provide some sort of discount to do that, so that they're paying their distributor monthly, but they're owning all the capital up front. So you own the end-to-end billing relationship with your customer. What that also provides is that you're able to manage the customer subscription. So if the customer wants to add a seat, they want to change a plan, they want to add a few additional plans, they have to do so through the partner, which is great because, again, it's just deepening that relationship and entrenching that kind of level of stickiness with the customer. But most importantly, the final aspect, right, is not only can you have potential to earn better margins through CSP, which, there's a lot of incentives in market, there's a lot of, you get your upfront margin from the distributor as opposed to kind of that back-end rebate from Microsoft, but more importantly, you're able to create bundled solutions with each of the distributors. So you look at an Ingram, Tech Data, Synnex, and D&H are four major distributors. They all have their own cloud marketplaces where they're offering a number of cloud solutions. And what CSP allows you to do is take Office 365, but maybe bundle in Skykick or BitTitan, maybe bundle in additional security features so that you're delivering a full solution to that customer. And as you can see on the screen here, each of the distributors have their own cloud desk, or their own cloud experts that can walk you through their marketplaces, how to transact CSP, and the best ways to get started.
You know, one of the great things, Demetrius, is that these distributors, so just like partners can go out and create their own bundles, each of the distributors can kind of do the same thing with their CSP offerings, right? So Ingram has their cloud marketplace, Tech Data has theirs, Synnex has theirs, D&H is soon to come on board. But each of them are going out and creating relationships with ISVs and doing different things. And I'm going to talk a little bit about some of them that we've seen in the marketplaces. But you can do it yourself. You can do it through their offerings. It's really fantastic what CSP is enabling our partners to do. So you're probably asking yourself, okay, so this is cool. I have the ability now to do packages, but how do I even get started with this? So let's walk through exactly what you can do. So the first thing is let's look at the verticals that you're currently selling to. Okay, do you have customers who are in manufacturing? Do you have legal customers? Do you have something that you feel very comfortable with? And that's a good place to start. Okay, look at what have they purchased in the past, and then maybe look at the problems and challenges that your solutions actually solved. Okay, but also look at who are you selling to within that organization. Are you selling to the IT department? Are you selling to HR? Are you selling to a purchasing person, or are you selling to sales or marketing? So you want to understand who are the decision makers that we're working with, who are the different departments, what are the challenges, and then think about, okay, so now that we've done this with one vertical, are we interested in working with multiple verticals? So if I've had success in working with both legal and healthcare, maybe I create two different bundles or two different groups of bundles for those different verticals, and then I can decide, okay, how many of these do I want to go after? Now, what else are your clients using? So did they buy from other providers? So meaning, are there ISVs that they're buying from? Are there other integrators? Maybe you don't currently have a SharePoint practice, but maybe they're partnering with somebody on SharePoint so that they can actually have a robust SharePoint intranet site. Or maybe there's some other things that someone else built for them in SharePoint so that it solved other problems and challenges that maybe your solution did not provide for them. So then you want to look at, okay, so these other providers that they bought from, look at their websites, look at their case studies, maybe even call them and ask them, hey, do you have a partner program? Can we get together? Maybe I can include you in some of my future bundles. So when we look at this, we want to take inventory of what is everything that I can currently offer, and then list out everything that you might want to offer. So then, once you have everything you have and everything you'd like to, you can look at, okay, so these products that I don't currently have, who are some people who can help me get that? Then look at your staff. Do you have people on your staff who have vertical expertise? So it was a few years ago, but Tiffany Bova from Gartner came down and she spoke at a Microsoft partner meeting here in Southern California, and she was telling the crowd, if you're going to sell into verticals, which is what she recommended, don't necessarily go out and just hire a sales rep and tell them, hey, go after the healthcare vertical. Maybe what you do is you go look for a retired nurse or someone who is in the nursing industry and maybe decided to be a stay-at-home mom for a little while and is coming back into the workplace, somebody who knows the pain points of that particular vertical. Then that person can help you create your own package solution that will address the pain points that he or she knows of in that industry. Then when they have that particular package, they can easily go out, and in the healthcare industry, they can talk to every doctor and every nurse who might have those particular pain points, and they can easily sell the solution. Sometimes selling, like we talked about with the maze, sometimes we think we have to go through the maze, but no one's telling you can't just break through the barriers. Now, of course, there's lots of different solutions from Microsoft, and the distributors have different solutions as well, so you want to look through each one of these. So when we build these packages, we want to upsell and cross-sell. And Demetrius, I'll let you take this one, but talk to us about what is the difference and how can this help us in our packaging?
Yeah, so the main thing to think about when building these packages is what's the easiest or next logical purchase for these customers. So this is the easiest way to do this, right, is to think about basic cross-selling and upselling techniques. to really solve the problems of the customers. And my suggestion is, many partners have some sort of assessment that they provide for their customers. Maybe it's a virtualization assessment. Maybe it's a networking assessment, or even a telephony assessment when it comes to looking at VoIP solutions. So think about a productivity assessment, or some sort of, and maybe you don't call it an assessment, but it's a line of questioning that you can get to. How are these people within the organization collaborating with each other? How are they interacting with each other? How do they communicate, especially when they have remote workers? How are they all kind of collaborating together? Maybe what devices are they using? What type of files and applications do they need on a regular basis to do their job? These are simple questions that you can ask to really get a scope of what productivity looks like, and maybe where there are some gaps, and then how you can fill them. So now when we think about cross-selling, this is all about selling complementary products or services. And we highlight multi-vendor if you wanted to look at adding Office 365 plus maybe a security vendor, right, to add additional security features. But it can also kind of relate to within our scope of products as well. So maybe it's a matter of looking at our enterprise mobility suite and providing security to those devices and single sign-on access and things of that nature. But it also allows opportunities for you to sell your services. So maybe after implementing Office 365, there's additional training services that you provide, or business continuity planning, which can lead to more services from disaster recovery and backup play as well. So those are some easy ways to get into cross-selling. Now the other area to look at is upselling. And upselling is all about increasing the size and scope of that particular opportunity. So, for example, you have a customer that's looking at Office 365 for their finance department, and maybe they just need some basic features. Well, how can you help them understand the value of what E3 or maybe even E5 could bring to the table, having those additional features and functionality of calling and having an intranet site or team site, right, where they can all access the same files, calendar, and updates that they want to get. I think that's a huge area of opportunity for partners is when they look at what we call team sites for SharePoint, but really it's an intranet site, right, where everyone in the organization has one go-to place where they can access all the latest content. And how can you even expand that solution to not just focus on that one specific department, but how could other areas within the company benefit from that solution as well?
So then what we take from this is, okay, let's look at what we currently have. Okay, what are some of the offerings that Microsoft has? And here I've listed out some things for Office 365 and CRM and EMS, but let's look at this. So we have unlimited email, advanced threat protection, antivirus, anti-malware, spam filtering, e-discovery. These are all things that are part of just email, right? Find Time meeting scheduling tool. By the way, if you guys don't know about Find Time, this is one. It's a free tool for all Office 365 users. Findtime.microsoft.com. You guys want to check out Find Time? It's an amazing meeting scheduling tool. That's something you can add into your bundle. Unlimited cloud storage, intranet setup. We were just talking about SharePoint. Demetrius was just saying, hey, you've got team sites, instant messaging. What about all the new features with Skype? Right, the Skype meeting broadcast for up to 10,000 simultaneous users. Our cloud PBX, the PSTN calling and conferencing features. Then we've got executive dashboarding. Now it's powered by Power BI. Internal social media. We're going to post up the slides and recording later on Yammer. So you've got internal social media. You could also use it for external if you like. Then you add in your help desk. So things like 24/7 by 365. It could be onshore, offshore. We start looking at EMS, and we've got single sign-on for nearly 2,700 major applications. Most every household name is included in our applications. Mobile device management, and then the mobile application management that allows you to do selective wipe, self-service password reset, rights management, not just for emails, but for all documents. Then we have CRM Professional. We have a marketing version. We have Delve Org Analytics. We have Delve Personal Analytics. We have Office Professional for up to 5 users. Real-time co-authoring. Then you can go into unlimited training, online support, even free email migration, and success planning. So these are some of the offerings. This isn't everything, but these are just some of the offerings that you have available to you just through the Microsoft offerings for Office 365, CRM, and EMS. Now, if you'd like, you can add in Azure Site Recovery, Azure Backup. There's all kinds of things with Azure. But above and beyond this, what you want to do is look and find and create new partnerships. So how do we do this? One easy way is going to your local IAMCP meetings. Okay? In Southern California, we have a very prominent several groups down here. I know, Demetrius, you've got a great group up in Northern California, and we have chapters all across the world and very prevalent across the United States. So here you can go in and you can find other ISVs who have particular products. Maybe you find other integrators that you can package together, but you want to look for these types of vendors. Another thing that you can do is you can go to local vertical trade shows. So here in Los Angeles, we have a legal show that's coming up, and I recently had a partner come to me and say, hey, Justin, I'd really like to go to that legal trade show, but it's a little bit expensive. And I agree with him. If you want to sponsor the event, it is expensive. But right now, as he's trying to package up his own IP, he's trying to put together his own bundles, really all he needs to do is just pay for an exhibitor pass to go up and down the aisles for the couple hundred vendors that they have there and start looking at which of those vendors have partnerships available and are looking for people like him to put them in his packages. You can search the web. There's thousands and thousands of ISVs. I believe we've got about 40,000 major ISVs that are working with Microsoft at this point. But the whole idea here is go out and find those products and integrators that you can put into your packages. To give you an example of a couple that I've seen that work really, really well, spend a couple minutes on these, but first is Team Fusion. So this is a company, it's local here in Southern California. They actually have a training bundle that it's white labeled service. You guys can add your Office 365. You can put in unlimited training for your customers. What's great about it is they can go through, they can get any type of training on Office, SharePoint, Delve, anything as it comes out from Microsoft is instantly available on their training site. Now, this is a white label solution, as I mentioned. You can get full reporting on the type of training that people are taking, so you can follow up and say, hey, it looks like there's a bunch of people who've been taking maybe Power Pivot training online. Maybe we want to send out somebody to come out and do a full class. Now there's some additional services that you're adding to it. Another one, very recently I was introduced to Law Toolbox. This one is incredible if you guys are working in the law firm or the legal vertical. So Law Toolbox allows law firms to easily schedule the deadlines for their trials. So in a case where every courthouse across the country has different deadlines, and most law firms have to spend a ton of time on putting these deadlines in their calendar. So what Law Toolbox does is allows the users to select the state and the courthouse that they're working with, and it easily imports into the attorney's calendar every single deadline so they don't miss those deadlines coming up. So they've got a fantastic tool. It's going to be coming to the Ingram Cloud Marketplace very shortly. But I put Carol Lynn's contact information here if you want to reach out and get more information if you'd like to create a legal package. I highly recommend the Law Toolbox package. Dun & Bradstreet is another one. This is one that you guys could actually use internally, but you could also sell to your customers. Dun & Bradstreet allows you, Dun & Bradstreet is kind of the corporate credit department, right, for corporations to see, is this potentially a good customer, bad customer? You can actually give your customers a way that they can find new data about people that they particularly would like to work with. So let's say that you're hosting a webinar, you've got 10 people on a webinar, and you put those into the tool that you can instantly see how many of those might be a credit risk and say, okay, well, 8 out of 10 are actually good, the good people that I'd want to go after. Then you can send that back through the tool again, and you can actually get contacts that you can actually reach out to and start building a list with. Another one that's going to be very soon available in the Ingram Cloud Marketplace. But how about this one? So how about Plantronics? So Plantronics has a new offer. It's devices as a service, where instead of having to pay $200 or $300 for a headset, Plantronics now allows you to offer for $25 to $35, and depending on what headset you're actually using, you can actually sell a bundle where you can actually make up to 30% margin on selling a monthly subscription to hardware. Now, what we've seen on the Skype side, all these new features of Skype, the customers are about 12 times more likely to use Skype if they have a good headset. So here's an opportunity for you to partner with Plantronics to bundle in hardware headsets with every one of your deals. Now, the Plantronics has a current, their current deals available through Cenix. So here you're kind of seeing a flavor of Ingram has a couple of partnerships. Cenix has a great partnership with Plantronics. So each of the distributors are offering different things. Now, that doesn't mean that you're stuck with one or the other. You can reach out to Julie. Maybe if you're an Ingram partner, you can still reach out to Julie, and they can still set something up with you. Because remember, all the bills are coming to you, and then you're billing the customer one time. That's the way that you're able to offer these package services. That's your extra value add to the customer. A couple more partnerships that we see. Cirrus Insight. If your customer has Salesforce and they have Office 365, you can light up Salesforce like never before by putting the Cirrus Insight app in. Allows customers to see their data straight from Outlook. It ties everything together, makes it seamless for them. Sirius, if you have customers who are in the financial industry, or if they are HIPAA compliant, so then they're in healthcare. So when you look at customers who need the regulatory compliance, Sirius's application that you can add on to Office 365 to make it extra secure. So now they can definitely see the HIPAA compliance. These are the things that you want to add to it if you're working with particularly the finance or the healthcare verticals. And Kevin, I put his information here if you want to reach out to them, but their application is currently available through the Ingram Cloud Marketplace. And then another one is DocuSign. So now DocuSign is completely seamlessly integrated into Office 365. So if you're working with maybe someone in the legal field, you're working with real estate agents, anyone who needs to legally sign documents online, now you can give them that easy functionality, just having DocuSign right there in their Office 365 portal. So hopefully this gives you guys a general idea. This is just a small list, but there's about 40,000 ISVs that are working with Office 365 right now. So once you have this, you've got to put together a name. So Demetrius, how would I name a cloud package?
Yeah, and great examples there, Justin. I mean, and as he mentioned, there's a ton of ISVs that are out there, and there's a number of places that you can go to look for these ISVs. So even if you go to store.office.com, there's a whole marketplace of applications that will sit on top of Office 365. And as Justin had mentioned, I would also recommend checking with the distributors because their cloud marketplaces are ever expanding, and they're including ISVs within their solution offerings as well. So getting back to productizing the solution, this is huge. In making sure that customers understand the power of choice and that they know exactly what they're getting, right? So when you productize it, you could do a number of things. You can look for something that's descriptive and specific to a vertical, or you can do something that's kind of more generic. So you see a couple examples here, the Ultimate Law Firm Cloud Package, which would provide specific legal, compliance issues and legal qualifications that you can add within that package. You can also provide a small business package. What I see a lot of MSPs providing is a silver, gold, and platinum package, for their managed services. And now, in addition to that, you include the different features of Office 365, and you can incorporate different SKUs within each of those packages. So you can look at it from a vertical approach, or you can look at it from an overall solution approach, and we have a couple examples on the next slide here. So for example, if you wanted to start a small business starter pack, you can see that you get unlimited email. This is really just Exchange Online in the background, right? Because it's a starter package. We look at adding advanced threat protection for enhancements to malware and protecting against viruses. The advanced meeting scheduling, which Justin had mentioned about Find Time. Again, I can also endorse it. Very great application to add into Outlook. Unlimited data storage. We've also included our enterprise mobility suite, so single sign-on access to up to 2,700 applications. You can include information rights management and document rights management, mobile device and mobile application management. Maybe you bundle in email migration as well, like a BitTitan or Skykick. The unlimited training and support, which Justin had mentioned could come from Team Fusion, very good price point to add into there, and then also your managed services. So you add all that together, and what do you think you could sell that for, right? And typically you'll see when you start bundling these packages, as opposed to making maybe 10% margin or 8% margin, you're going up to 30, 40, 50% margins because you're bundling it all together and delivering it as a whole solution to your customers. The same can go for the sales department essentials package, which is essentially the same thing, but all we've added is CRM Online included with that as well. And there's, again, when you look at some of the offerings that even Microsoft has, when we bundle CRM and Office 365, customers get a discount. Now, that discount can be reflective in the pricing, or, again, because you're packaging it all together and they're not line iteming each individual product, you can still offer at a premium price for that solution. If we move to the next slide, you can also see vertical examples. So this would be a Platinum Legal package, and this package would include something like E5, right? So we have not just the unlimited email, but we're also including full PSTN calling and conferencing and hosted PBX. We're also including, if you look a few line items down, the Law Toolbox, which Justin had mentioned as an ISV provider. Matter Center is another great solution, really around document management. And this is something that was created by Microsoft specific for the legal vertical. So there's even tools that you can leverage from Microsoft that you can build into your package to deliver to a customer. On the other side, we can look at a premium healthcare package, and maybe this includes solution by Sirius, where they can provide HIPAA-compliant email, but it's also including your advanced threat protection, your data storage, your mobile device management and application management. So you're still combining all these things together. And a lot of the services that you'll see for those vertical packages, there's going to be a lot of overlap between what you might offer for one vertical and another vertical, or what you might offer for healthcare, but what you might offer as your generic silver, bronze, or gold package. But it doesn't, to the customer, it doesn't matter what's running in the background. What matters is the solution that they're getting. And so it's how you go to market with it that makes a really big difference.
And the beautiful thing here is, so all of these packages, you could include Team Solution or Team Fusion, right? So you've got the unlimited training that's white labeled through your service. And that cost, I think, I don't know their exact pricing, but let's say it's $1 a month to you. What are you going to package it up and you're going to sell it to the customer? Your managed services, partners all have different fees that they charge for managed services. So if one partner charges $50 a month and another partner charges $75 a month, you can hide those fees in so partners can't just go out, and if they're looking for the ABC company's Platinum Legal package, they're not going to find it on Google, they're not going to find it on Bing. Everybody's package is going to be completely different, which is going to drive those higher margins. It's going to drive you to have better competition with other people who are out there who are trying to compete for that E3 business or E5 business. Now, I have had partners come to me in the past and say, but Justin, I really want to use the Microsoft name. So how do I still incorporate Microsoft in here? And understand that you can still use the brand, the Microsoft brand, in your pitch. So if we have the Ultimate Law Firm package, cloud package, that's still powered by Microsoft. So we can still leverage that name, and we can still tell them, hey, this package still includes the Microsoft Cloud Suite. But it's not just ABC company, my Justin Slagle consulting firm. It's not just my package. It's powered by Microsoft. Everything that we've included here is powered by Microsoft or whatever the solution might be. Now, the other thing to point out is that it doesn't just have to be Microsoft solutions. You can also add in, if you have a practice where you say, okay, we want to add in, maybe you're a Ring Central partner, you're not comfortable with Skype for Business yet. If you want to add that in your package, you can still do that. So the idea is package what you feel the most comfortable with, and then we will continue to add more and more products from Microsoft. There'll be other products that come in from other vendors, and because you're sending one bill to the customer to give them that complete solution, you can always add and take out depending on what the customer is looking for. Now, Demetrius, I'm sure you've heard this question. Hey, do you guys have that? Which Office 365 package has EMS included? Have you heard that up in NorCal? I hear it all the time down here in SoCal.
Oh man, actually, I was just at a partner meeting the other day, and I had a partner ask me, why don't you guys include EMS in Office 365? And I think the slide that you put together here is perfect. The truth of the matter is that you can include it with Office 365, right? It's all about how you bundle it and package it together. So although we might not have a hard bundle where they go to our site and they see EMS included with Office 365 and all the features that are included with that, the truth of the matter is that you can offer it as a package to your customers and name it whatever you want. Maybe it's the mobility plan. You named it here as the C1 package, right? So there's a number of different ways that you can go to market by leveraging these bundles together.
Yeah, I think this is it. So a customer says to you, hey, we've seen out in the market there's Office 365 and there's EMS. Is there a plan that has it? Absolutely, we have it. It comes with everything you see in E3 plus EMS. It has all of our managed services included, plus it has unlimited training, and it's whatever, $75 a month, $100 a month, whatever price tag you're going to put on it. So it's going to help differentiate you because you're one of the only partners who's actually offering that Office 365 package with EMS. Now, just a side caveat here. Guys, EMS is so important to your business. It's so important for your customers. So if you're not familiar with EMS, we'll have more webinars, and there's tons of training out there that's available to you through our partner advisory team to help you get ramped up on EMS. But as more and more customers continue to get hacked, as there's more and more cyber attacks, unfortunately I had 4 customers that were cyber attacked last week. Some of them, or at least one of them, was well over 6 figures in damage to the customer. And if they would have had a multi-factor authentication in place using a tool like EMS, it wouldn't have happened. So make sure you're bundling these things together. Make sure you're taking good control of your customer and helping them make sure that their packages are secure so that they can protect themselves from the cyber crime that's going on out there. So one thing that I have had other partners say is, how do you really help people understand why no one else is offering these same packages? And here's just a simple thing that I put together for you guys. So you can say to the customer, look, we have a very special relationship with Microsoft. It's one of their cloud solution provider programs. And because of this special relationship, we have the blessing from Microsoft to be able to offer something that no other partner can offer. You won't find our exact offering from any other partner in the country. In fact, our offerings have been specifically tailored to fit your needs because we know that your business is unlike any other. Okay? Using a simple line like this will show your customers that you're different from everyone else. You have the ability to package these bundles up and take it to them, and you're adding in the extra special sauce that customers are looking for. Other people, yeah, they can sell E1, they can sell E3, they can sell E5, but you're not getting that ultimate law firm package, the ultimate law firm cloud package that we offer at ABC Company. That's what customers are looking for, and that's how you're going to make more money and sell more into the marketplace. So once you have these bundles put together, you've got to start testing it. So you can ask maybe your favorite clients and prospects, hey, what do you think of something like this? If we were to put something like this out in the market, what do you guys think? Ask your significant other, ask your friends, search the web. Does it resonate with them? Maybe you want to do some specific marketing with it. Make sure the URL is available. So test different things out because it's all about marketing. It's all about getting that return. So you're going to probably try a couple different packages before you find one that's perfect for you. Now, when you go to market, of course, you're going to want to create some marketing materials. Update your website, update your sales collateral, your marketing presentations. You want to generate press releases. You want to do all different things that start getting as much eyeballs on your package as you possibly can. So you can do things with search engine optimization, pay-per-click, email, social media, whatever it takes to get the word out. You want to start branding your package as something that's completely different from everybody else that's out there. Now make sure everyone in your company is very aware of everything that you're doing, and when you go to market, you want to make it look like this is a new package that Microsoft is offering, but it's only available through you.
And Justin, can I add one other point here? So I think when you look at the go-to-market strategy, I want partners to know that there's a ton of resources available to them to be able to help assist with this. Because I know, one of the biggest challenges that I see from my partners and, from a marketing perspective is that they don't have a marketing person, or their marketing person is also the owner who's also doing sales, who's also doing operations, right? And so marketing kind of tends to fall back on that scale of importance because there's just so many other job functions going on. And so we have available to our partners marketing office hours each week where our SMB marketing team answers questions from partners and can provide some best practices on what they're seeing in the market, but also a lot of the content is already created for you all. And so you can just take our content, repurpose it to fit your messaging. Maybe you include some of your branding, right? If you ended up making a silver, gold, and platinum package, you can add that messaging in there. But just know that a lot of the content is already created for you, and there's a lot of resources you can leverage there.
Yeah, Microsoft has tons of content, resources, so just make sure you leverage it. And our ready-to-go marketplace is a fantastic resource. We'll have that up here for you guys in a little bit. But make sure you're leveraging ready-to-go. Make sure you're leveraging all the great marketing resources that we have at Microsoft in your go-to-market strategy. So really, the results here serve just a ton of different purposes, right? So you can start looking at how do I pre-configure packages that I know that are going to resonate in the marketplace. The sales team, when they can go out and they can have a complete solution for a particular vertical, it will help them in their presentations. It'll help your marketing people go deeper within a particular vertical. So if you think about, hey, when you have E3, that's for everybody, right? But if you have a law firm package, or you have an accounting package, or if you have a healthcare package, now you can go to every healthcare trade show. You can get into every healthcare publication. You can create a website that's specific to the healthcare vertical. Now you can really target in, and people can start to know you as a healthcare partner, a healthcare Microsoft partner who you have the best solutions for them. You can start identifying the gaps that you currently have in your current solution. So what can we do? How can we add more to it to make us even stronger within a particular vertical? And then you can set the stage for really growing market segmentation, whether you're growing inside of one particular vertical, or if you say, okay, now we've got healthcare figured out, now let's build up our marketing and sales engine to go after accounting. Let's build up from there. Let's take another sales rep. Let's take another marketing person. Let's build another website to go after the manufacturing industry. Whatever it is, now you've really set the stage to go bigger and deeper. So where do we want to get to? So here's another example for you guys. So let's look at this one. Some of you might have heard this in a SMB Live maybe we did last year, but here's a coffee example, similar to the maize earlier. Okay, so if we go to Colombia and we pick coffee beans, or we go to the coffee shop there, they'll put it in a little bag for us, and they'll give us a pound of coffee, and it's going to cost us about $1.35. Okay, now it's not very pretty. It's put it into just a little sack here, $1.35 a pound. But could we do something to repackage this and get a little bit more money for it? And the answer is of course. So what could we do? We could put it into some nicer packaging. Maybe you see something like this at Starbucks where you give somebody a pound of coffee and you put it into a fancier bag, and now you can turn around, you can get $14.99 for this pound of coffee. Okay, but can we take it another step further? The answer is of course we can. So now what we can do is we can put it into a little K-cup or a little pod. We put it into a little pod, we grind it up, we make individual servings. How much can we get for a pound of coffee now? Now we can get about $50 a pound. Okay, but what can we do beyond this? If we want to make more money, how do we package it beyond this? Well, maybe what we do is we get somebody who's nice, friendly, smiling to pour the cup of coffee for you. And if we get them to pour the cup of coffee for you, we could get up to $150 a pound for coffee. But is there potentially a way that we can even get more money than this? And the answer is of course. So how can we take that next step? We can add chocolate, we can add whipped cream, we can serve it in a gourmet environment where we've got maybe music playing, and at this point we can get up to $600 per pound of coffee that we're serving in our little diner. Okay, so what we want to look at here is how the commodity is packaged, it's delivered, and it's customized can be the difference between getting $1.35 a pound and getting $600 a pound. So remember, this is a repeatable model. You guys can go eat it multiple times with multiple verticals. You want to go as deep as you possibly can within one vertical, but you don't want to go out there and you don't want to sell just Office 365 E3. What you want to do is you want to go out and create the ultimate cloud package for the accounting vertical, whatever you decide to call it. Gold, silver, bronze, you call it C1, C3, whatever you want to call it, but make it different than everybody else's. The way you package it is going to help you get more money. So some additional resources for you guys if you want to go deeper in this. Of course, we have our ready to go, a website where we've got tons of multiple cloud solution content and campaigns ready to go for you. Our Microsoft Community Connections are really some great resources to help you with vertical marketing. And then Project Legion just launched. This is something that will really help open your eyes to really bulk marketing through verticals. How do I get people to come listen to a webinar without me having to spend a dime? How do I get people who are really interested in coming in and understanding what my particular solutions are? How do I get them excited about it? So we're working on some final details right now, and I'll have another slide here, but this will be our next SMB Insider call. So what are some next steps for you guys? So let's go out and find and create some new partnerships. That's step one. Then create your pre-packaged, pre-configured packages. So go out, research, build solutions, understand the cross-sell and upsell opportunities. Okay, then go ask your customers and your friends and your spouse and whoever you have to ask, get some feedback on what they think. Remember, you've got to test and test again. It's all about the ROI. So if something's working, do more of it. And if it's not working, make sure to stop and try something else. Okay, but it's time to go to market. Okay, so one last thing here is if you let us know how we did on today's call. So you're in the call, you took the first half. If you just take our survey, you'll be entered as an extra ticket into our drawing for $15,000 or a Surface Pro 4 we're going to be giving away in May. So we'll post the link up for you guys, which is aka.ms/IMB survey. So if you take the survey, and we'll give it a little bit of time, but if you listen to the call or you take the survey, that's what's going to help trigger for you guys to get that extra ticket in the raffle. Hopefully we'll have someone from this call who actually wins the raffle. We'll be announcing. So I did mention our Insider Morning Broadcast number 2 coming up on May 20th. So this one's going to be on Project Lead Gen. So it's, like I said, it's a new way for you guys to drive leads within a community. So you can go after, if you say, hey, I want to go after the legal community, I want to go after the accounting community, I want to go after healthcare. How do we go out to the influencers of the market? How do we get them to drive people at scale through Microsoft Community Connections? We can give them different things, and we'll have Sherman Krantzer on, and he'll talk about, hey, how do you go out to market with this? It's a fantastic new program that's available only to Microsoft partners. So with that, I want to thank you guys for being on the call with us. It's been a fantastic time for us. Demetrius, any final words from you?
No, just to reiterate, we thank you and appreciate you guys joining us today, and hopefully we learned something. If there's any additional follow-up that's needed, Justin provided our email aliases. I see a lot of questions coming through the window here, so we'll stay on the line for a little bit longer to answer any additional questions. But thank you again very much for joining.
Yeah, and I say, take advantage of our SMB Insider community. And so there's only a select few partners who are part of this group. Of course, we're trying to grow it, but we do have a Yammer community for you. We have, we're doing different things through social media to try to engage more partners or special offers that are going to be available for you. So if there's other people on your team who would enjoy content like this, want to be involved in our SMB Insider community, please ask them to join. And we will be on the Yammer thread to help answer some of these questions that are continuing going on and on. But again, thank you very much. We appreciate the time, and please do fill out that survey for us.
Awesome. Thanks, Justin. So, ladies and gentlemen, that does conclude today's Partner Infopedia web conference. Again, you'll be able to get to the web conference replay on worldwide events within 24 hours. I'd like to extend a big thank you to our presenters, Justin and Demetrius, and thank you, audience, for logging in and joining us today.